Before we walked the earth, there existed a garden more beautiful than anything you could imagine. It was called the Garden of Dawn. In this garden, everything was perfect. The flowers were always in bloom. The trees were full of the juiciest fruits, and the streams sparkled like liquid diamonds. In this garden lived the first two people ever created, named Adam and Eve. They were as pure as the light of the morning sun and were loved deeply by the Creator, who made everything in the garden for them. The Creator was like a loving parent who wanted nothing but the best for them. Adam and Eve had a very important job. They were the caretakers of the garden. Their task was simple: to live in harmony with all living things, to love each other, and to make choices that would keep the garden as beautiful as the day it was made. But, as with any story, there was a twist. You see, in the center of the garden stood two very special trees. One was called the Tree of Life, and its fruit would allow whoever ate it to live forever in joy and peace. The other was the Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil, which had the power to show the eater the deepest secrets of the world. But with a cost. The knowledge could be overwhelming and even dangerous. The Creator gave Adam and Eve a very clear instruction. You may eat the fruit of any tree in this garden, but do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. For if you do, your hearts will change, and the garden will no longer be a place of peace. Adam and Eve understood, but deep inside, a question began to form in their minds. What would happen if we ate from that tree? One day, as Adam and Eve were walking near the tree of knowledge, a shadow slipped quietly among the branches. This was no ordinary shadow. It belonged to a serpent, a creature that was as old as the garden itself, but who had chosen a different path from the other creatures. This serpent was wise, but its wisdom was twisted, and it sought to plant seeds of doubt in the hearts of Adam and Eve. The serpent spoke in a voice that was both soothing and sly. "Why do you not eat from the tree of knowledge?" it asked, curling itself around the trunk of the tree. "Do you not want to know the secrets that the Creator keeps from you?" Adam and Eve were startled. They had never spoken with the serpent before.
If you're loving our exploration of the realms of gods and ancient mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of curious minds and never miss an epic tale or fascinating discovery. Click the bell to stay updated on our latest videos, and let's embark on this incredible journey together. Leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. Your thoughts and ideas are what make this adventure truly special.
"We were told by the Creator not to eat from this tree," Adam replied, "for it would bring us knowledge that we are not ready to bear." The serpent's eyes glittered with cunning. But what if the Creator is keeping something wonderful from you? What if, by eating this fruit, you could become like the Creator, knowing all the mysteries of the universe? Why should you be denied such power? Eve hesitated. The serpent's words stirred something deep inside her, a curiosity, a desire to know more. "But if we eat, we might lose the garden," she whispered. The serpent smiled a crooked smile. "Or perhaps you will make the garden your own, to shape as you see fit. The choice is yours. Will you stay in the light of the Creator, or will you choose to know the truth and walk your own path?" Eve looked at Adam, and he could see the conflict in her eyes. A part of him wanted to walk away, but another part, a small, rebellious part, wondered if the serpent was right. What if they were being held back from something greater? Finally, with trembling hands, Eve reached out and plucked a fruit from the tree of knowledge. The serpent watched silently as she brought it to her lips and took a bite. The moment the juice touched her tongue, she felt a rush of understanding, as if the entire world had opened up to her. She quickly handed the fruit to Adam, who hesitated, but then, driven by curiosity, took a bite as well. As soon as they had eaten, something in the garden shifted. The vibrant colors dimmed, the sweet songs of the birds became muted, and the warmth of the sun seemed to fade. Adam and Eve looked at each other and realized that something deep within them had changed. They felt emotions they had never felt before: fear, shame, and a strange new sense of separation from the Creator. The serpent slithered away, satisfied with its work. It had planted a seed of change in the hearts of Adam and Eve, a seed that would grow into something entirely new, something that would shape the world forever. As time passed, Adam and Eve had children, and their children had children, and soon the world was filled with people. But the choice they had made in the Garden of Dawn had set them on a path that was different from the one the Creator had intended. The seed of knowledge they had planted within themselves grew into a tree of its own, a tree with both good and evil branches. In another part of the world, far from where Adam and Eve now lived, the serpent was busy at work in a different garden, a place known as the Garden of Dusk. This garden was darker, filled with twisted vines and shadows that seemed to move on their own. Here, the serpent planted a new seed, a seed that was not of the Creator's making. This seed was born from the serpent's own essence, and it was planted in the heart of a woman who wandered too close to the edge of the garden. This woman, named Lilith, had also heard stories of the tree of knowledge, but unlike Adam and Eve, she was not content to simply listen. She wanted to know more, to see what lay beyond the boundaries of her understanding. The serpent, seeing this desire in her, whispered to her just as it had to Eve, but this time it did not offer a fruit. It offered something much more powerful, a new seed, a seed that could create life in a different way. Take this seed, the serpent whispered, and plant it within yourself. It will grow into something unique, something powerful, but be warned, it will change the course of your life forever. Lilith, driven by her desire for knowledge and power, accepted the seed and planted it deep within her heart. As it took root, she felt a surge of strength, but also a darkness that she had never known before. This seed was not like the seeds of the Creator's garden. It was a seed of the serpent, and it would bear fruit that was unlike anything the world had ever seen. As the years passed, two trees began to grow, one in the Garden of Dawn, where Adam and Eve's descendants lived, and one in the Garden of Dusk, where Lilith's seed had taken root. The tree of dawn bore fruit that was good and pure, but also carried within it the knowledge of good and evil, a knowledge that could be used for both creation and destruction. The tree of dusk, on the other hand, bore fruit that was darker, more mysterious. Its branches twisted and turned, and its fruit was filled with a power that was neither good nor evil, but something altogether different, something born of the serpent's own essence. The descendants of Adam and Eve were drawn to the tree of dawn, where they could see the beauty of the world and learn from it. They built cities, created art, and wrote stories about the world as they saw it. But they also struggled with the knowledge they had gained, the knowledge of good and evil, and sometimes they made choices that brought pain and suffering into their world. The descendants of Lilith, however, were drawn to the tree of dusk. They were seekers of deeper, darker truths, and they explored the mysteries of the world in ways that others feared. They, too, built cities and created art, but their creations were often filled with shadows and secrets, reflecting the darkness of the tree that had given them life.